Yo, and his
Yeah.
danglies got caught in the cart, yo. I'll never forget it. He hopped up. He's like, "I ripped my pants. I ripped my pants." I was cracking up, yo.
9 feet tall, like the mic with one. Came out.
Welcome back to another episode of Going for Broke. I'm your host, Benjamin Smith. I'm here with my little brother and co-host, Jacob Smith. Boom, there he is. Welcome back. I think this is episode 2 that we're going on right now. So, yeah, let's get the ball rolling, dude. As you were saying, there's a little convention in Pennsylvania that you like to frequent.
Yeah, there's a convention in Pennsylvania. It's a weed convention. I was just telling him about this. And Pennsylvania it's medical marijuana only, but for some reason at this convention you pay $20 to get in. And it's a flea market that changes twice a year to selling weed. There's 250 tables of people who just sell weed. There's no age limit. You can bring your kids. There's people with strollers. There's little kids running around.
Yeah.
And you're allowed to smoke weed in there, so you're just like blowing weed in a baby's face.
Yeah.
It's crazy. I don't know how it's legal or anything. There was like a music stage.
Yeah.
And there was like some guy on stage, and he was like singing a song, and he was like, "When I say weed, you say hell yeah." And he was like, "Weed." And then like the entire crowd was like ripped. They were all like ah. When he was like, "I say weed, you say hell yeah." They were like they were all like fucking half dead, yo.
Dude,
It was hilarious.
I'm sure there was cops there directing traffic too, and they don't care, dude.
Dude, there was cops there. They didn't give a shit. I don't know how it's legal. I went being married. There's like a bunch of food trucks, and we went to get in line, and there's like a group of people, and I looked at the guy that left me. I'm like, "Yo, is this a line?" And he was so ripped. He was like, "I don't know, man." And then I looked at the guy that right of me. I was like, "Are you in line?" And he was like, "I have no clue." Like, no one knew where the line was, like where it started, where it ended. Like,
yeah,
everybody was
out
just
here
sauced.
sipping on the strongest THC in history, dude. That's why, and it's an entire festival of it.
There was a dude who was selling ice cream, weed ice cream. One scoop of ice cream was 500 milligrams.
Oh my gosh, dude!
Like, you know how crazy that is?
People out there, dude.
Like, most people, if they take a 50 milligram edible, they'll be rocked.
Yeah.
And this dude was selling 500 milligram a scoop. I was like, I can't eat that. How am I gonna drive home if I eat that? Like, I have no clue.
Yeah, dude. I have a question. Just because, I mean, you're like the sommelier of marijuana as far as it goes. Oh, it's got McAfee on here. What's up with like people not feeling it their first time? Because like my buddy, like he came in here. Man, he was probably like maybe a year ago. He showed up at my house, and like he got from a friend that was down in Colorado. He got some edibles, and he's like, "These are 100 milligram edibles." And I was like, "Dude, you've never done this before?" He's like, "No." I was like, "Dude, don't start with 100 milligrams." Like, I was like, "Take a bite. Like, don't eat that whole thing at once." Anyway, so he took like a bite of it, didn't feel anything, and then he's like, "Whatever, dude. I'm just gonna do a second bite." And then he showed up to my house like 20 minutes later, and he's like, "Dude, the whole night he was chill. Like nothing happened. There was no difference. Like he had 100 milligram edible and like literally like couldn't even tell that like anything was even in his system as far as it goes."
Yeah, so that's actually a thing. It's like weed, when you eat it, it gets processed by your liver. So a lot of people, like, when they first want to try weed, they're thinking, "Oh, I'll just take it edible so I don't have to smoke it or whatever."
Yeah.
But they don't understand that when you eat it, it's 10 minutes. It's 10, or sorry, not 10 minutes. Oh, what the fuck? I just had to pop up my screen. But when you eat weed, I'm back. But when you eat weed, wait, what is it saying? No, get the fuck out of here. It wants me to update Windows.
This is some real high. We're high quality over here at Going for Broke.
Yeah.
Videos. You can tell we're broke, okay?
Dude, my last podcast I filmed on a laptop that I got in like the 8th grade, yo. This thing was a dinosaur.
Yeah,
I filmed the whole lap. I hope, like, and you see the audio. This is my camera right here. This is my fucking camera. Like,
yeah. I mean, both on laptop cameras right now, dude. as far as it goes.
Yeah,
And
get the fuck out of here.
yeah,
I filmed the video on an iPhone 6 on my last podcast. I had like an old iPhone that I would
yeah,
just film the podcast on. But back to what I was saying, when you eat weed, it's 10 times stronger because it's going through your liver or whatever.
yeah, right.
So, but some people are impervious to that. Like
So
some
like,
people, it's rare, but if something about their liver, it like filters too good or whatever,
yeah,
and they can eat as much edibles as they want. When I was in high school, that was my thing. I would make a bunch of edibles. I actually invented a Ponzi scheme unknowingly
I know it.
because
Yeah, keep going.
so so when someone had like their parents were gone for a week, they would call me or whatever, and they'd like, "Yo, my parents are gone for a week," and because like who has a house that you can make edibles in? Like the whole house
Yeah,
is gonna stink for a couple of days.
yeah. As far as it
So
goes,
people
with
would call
all
me
everything you got to
and be
do.
like, "Yo, my parents are gone. Come make edibles at my house." So I'd go to different people's houses and I'd make hundreds of edibles. Like at one
Yeah.
time, the most edibles I ever made, I spent all day cooking edibles. I had a whole duffel bag full of pop brownies. It was crazy.
Would
But
you
I
like make
invented
them
the
buy you
Ponzi
stuff?
scheme
Yeah,
because I would front everybody edibles. Anybody who wanted it, I would front them like 20 edibles
yeah.
or whatever. But then I did it to everybody in the school. So no one could
Dude.
sell any of the edibles for profit. So they all got stuck with, and I didn't even realize it. I didn't realize what I was doing, but they all got stuck with this shit because I gave them to everybody. So
Yeah,
there
you
was no one to
literally,
sell these
that's a
edibles
college
to.
level economy class that you just put in there, dude. That's literally saturating the market, dude.
I literally invented a pyramid scheme in high school. I had no clue how I was doing it. But
Dude.
back to what I was saying, my boy
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Kyle, who I went to high school with, edibles did not affect him. He could eat like 5 edibles and he was fine. And I looked it up, and there's like a certain percentage of people. It's like 1 in 10 people who are just not affected from eating marijuana. Like they have to smoke it.
Huh. Yeah, that might be my boy, because like I was like, he's sitting in my living room just chatting with me, and I'm like, I keep forgetting you're on 100 milligrams right now, and you like this is your first time, you've never done this before. And he's like, yeah, he's just like, I don't feel any different. I don't know if I was acting different, but I thought he was a superhero at that point.
Yeah, no, that's insane. If I take 100 milligrams, like I'd take a 50 milligram like it's nothing. But if I want to go to bed, I'll take 100, and that'll literally put me
Oh
to
my
sleep.
god.
And I'm a heavy marijuana user. So the fact that he was able to just muscle through 100 is crazy because like I wouldn't even be able to drive on 100.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Dang, dude. Do you wanna tell him about the time you got Grammy high? Since we're recording now.
Oh yeah. Because we fucked up earlier. I told the story earlier.
Yeah, it
But
was bad.
my
Yeah.
my grandma has pain issues, and she knows that I smoke weed because I lived with her at the time. We shared a wall. I lived in a room that was like smaller than a cruise ship cabin. Like one of the Like, have you ever been on a cruise?
Dude, I've actually never been on a cruise, but I'm also kind of like I've
They
kind of
suck.
been
There's no
avoiding it
point.
like the plague as far as it goes. But I know Mikkel's
Don't
family,
go on
they
a
like to
cruise.
go. I'll do
Cruises are
one.
white trash.
They are super white trash. I got to do
It's
one
so
though.
white trash. It makes no sense to go on a cruise. Like, I went to Mexico. I flew to Mexico, and I spent 7 days at all inclusive, like we were talking about on the last podcast,
Yeah,
for $1,000,
yeah,
$999. You go on a cruise, it's $1,200 or whatever for a balcony. If you want a balcony, a person, that's one person. So
yeah.
2 people, you're spending $2,400. And they stop in the Bahamas for like 8 hours. They get there at 6 a.m. You got to be back on the boat at 6 at night. So you're
Yeah.
only on the island for like, I mean, that's actually 12 hours. So I'm not a scholar or a math scholar, but it says 12 hours. But I just don't understand it. Like, why would you only want to be there for 8 hours? Last cruise I went on, me and Mary went on one, and this guy was waiting at the dock, and he was like, "I'm selling joints. Anybody want joints?" And
Yeah.
I bought joints off of this guy, and it was just tobacco in the joints. Like I went to
Oh, it
smoke the
wasn't
joint.
you. Yeah, yeah,
It
yeah.
wasn't even weed in there. I was like,
Okay.
"Stop,
Yeah, that he probably
fucking
pulled out of
got
his
me."
ass too, as far as that goes. He was
Yeah,
like,
he
"Ooh."
fucking got my ass. But yeah, a cruise is just a buffet on the ocean. That's what it is.
Yeah, like
It's a buffet on the ocean.
yeah. Oh, messed up the view real quick. Boom. Yeah, dude. Like for me, it's like I I feel like when I go on vacation, I want luxury. I want to be like having a fun time. I don't want to be like packed in sardines with a bunch of other people on a boat that I don't even know. Like I don't want to do group activities. I'm not there for like bingo or for ladies' night as far as it goes. Like
Yeah. That's exactly what it is. It's
yeah,
all that shit. It's literally a shopping mall on the ocean. Like once you've done a
yeah,
lap around the whole boat, you've been to the casino, you've been to the buffet area, the bars, whatever. Like you know where everything is, and then
yeah,
you're still on this bitch for 6 days. It's like you're stuck in the mall for 6 days. Like you're like, I've done everything,
yeah.
and I still got 6 days. I'm like, it's really about the boat. It's not about the islands that you're going to. Like, it's just such trash. Like I feel the same way about Disney adults.
Dude,
And
don't even get me started on Disney adults, dude. Oh my god.
my aunt, my aunt and my cousin are Disney adults, but I'm still gonna say this anyway. I think if you're a Disney adult, then you should probably murder yourself because you have no culture. You have no culture. You can
Yeah.
fly to Mexico for less than you're paying to go to Disney,
Right?
and they
Dude,
go to Disney once a year.
once a
What
year.
are you
And
going to Disney for once a year? I don't understand. It blows my
oh
mind.
my gosh, and you're gonna make it a
Blows my
family
mind.
tradition, dude. It doesn't make any sense. Mikhail has a friend. She's gonna have her fifth kid under 5, which is already insane as far as it goes. But they go to Disney every single year. And the thing is,
Pull
like,
out game week.
dude, I
That dude is not pulling out.
dude, he's definitely not like I want to feel
His
bad,
pull out
but
game is weak.
it's so weak.
You gotta teach him the method, yo.
Yeah,
They
yeah.
said Larry Bird always dribbles before he shoots. You gotta fucking pull it out a little
Yeah,
bit.
yeah. Dude, dude, I I was talking to him last time and I was like, dude, when's the last time you like slept? He's like, I don't know, 5 years ago was the last time I had a full night's sleep. And I was like, I want to feel bad for you, but like you literally dug this hole for yourself, dude. I can't like I'm trying to be sympathetic, but like this is y'all's fault. Like you'd think after 4 times that you'd figure it out, but now it's 5.
Yeah.
So, but anyway, dude, like I don't even want to comprehend the amount of money that they spend, especially with like the kids who like they don't like they like it, but they're not gonna know why they like it, dude. Like they can't even like appreciate it 100% of the time or go on half the rides because they are so young. But you're still paying like a huge amount for these kids to go, and then they separate the parks. So you have to buy like 2 different tickets on top of it. Like it's so I could never do it. It's so expensive,
It
dude.
makes no sense. Like you're uncultured. You have no class. Like travel the world, yo.
Yeah,
Do you want to
yeah.
spend your entire life saying that you went to fucking Florida 97 times to go to fucking see Disney? Like I don't understand. My honest opinion about it is if you're a Disney adult, you had a bad childhood. Something about your childhood you're trying to go back
You're
and
trying
fix
to, yeah, yeah.
retroactively. You're trying to retroactively make your childhood better, but you can't. That shit is chalked already.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
you can't fix it. No matter how many times you go to Disney, you're never gonna be able to fix your childhood. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like I don't know what to
yeah,
say to you.
yeah.
I
There's
don't
there's a
understand it.
hole inside you you're trying to fill with churros and Mickey Mouse beignets, right? And a Snoopy T-shirt and pictures with your family, and you're like smiling like you were when you're 5 years old because that was the last time your parents were happy with each other was when you were at Disneyland, right? So you're trying to recreate it, man. That's all.
It also could be a personal vendetta because our parents promised that they would take us to Disney,
Yeah.
and they knew that shit was a lie. You knew that shit was a lie. You guys are lying, you motherfuckers.
You were
Damn
just
well
saying
never
that
we're
to
gonna
us,
go.
okay?
The only vacation we ever went on was a timeshare to a ski resort in Massachusetts,
Oh, in the
and it was during
summer.
the summer. There
Yeah.
wasn't even any snow on the ground. Yeah.
We're
You know how
going
poor
we're
you
going to
gotta
a ski
be.
resort in July. Yeah.
You know how poor you gotta be to go to a timeshare to a ski
Yeah.
resort in the
Yeah, dude.
summer where there's no snow on the ground.
Yeah. With it was like Sean too with like 3 4 boys who are like bored. Like we're gonna get into some trouble as far as it goes too. Like but we're like what are we supposed to do? Just hang out in the hotel room the entire time?
It
Like
was us and a bunch of Hasids. I remember it though. For some reason, it was a bunch of
oh
Hasidic Jews,
yeah. Yeah. I don't
and
it was probably a summer camp by. That's probably why.
there was that luge. It was like a luge where you got like a little cart, and there was a break in the front, and it went down the mountain.
Yeah,
But it was like
yeah.
it was a luge, like you were in a
Yeah.
cart. It was in the summer. There was no
Mountain
fucking snow,
coaster. Yeah.
and I'll never forget. There was a guy in front of us going down the mountain, a Hasid, in the full get up with the danglies off his shirt and
Yeah.
everything.
Yeah, yeah.
Yo, and his
Yeah.
danglies got caught in the cart, yo. And
Oh, what?
he like fucking flipped out of the cart, yo. I'll never forget it. He hopped up, he's like, I ripped my pants. I ripped my pants. I was cracking up, yeah.
Dude,
Ozzy going crazy, yeah.
wh-
And then he
wh-
crawled right back down into the tunnel that he came out of. He
I
said
still
the mattresses were down there for prayer reasons only. I swear to God, that's what he was saying.
It's a long trip in between. You gotta rest your knees because you're crawling the whole time. Okay, don't let your imagination go wild. That is the funniest video too of like the homies trying to like yell at the police as like the last guy's like ducking his head out, trying to be like, "Is it clear yet? Is it good to go?" Because
Dude,
dude,
they
he's
get after it. They get after it. The
yeah,
Hasids and the Slims get after it. Whenever I watch the UFC and it's in Saudi Arabia and there's a
yeah,
whole section of the Muslim guys, the Saudis, right?
yeah. The
Yo,
Saudi
they got the
princes.
right idea, yo. It's all the boys. There's no ladies allowed, yo. It's me and the
No girls
boys.
allowed,
We're
dude.
going to the UFC. It's dudes only, motherfuckers, okay? No one's allowed to bring their wife, all right? The whole section is just the boys, yo. I'm like, they're having a
Dude,
fucking blast over there. I don't know what the fuck they're doing, but they're
it's the
fucking getting
dogs hanging out, dude. That's why oil baron, oil money. Everyone brought their nice Lambos. No wives, as far as it goes. Watching some Russian dude with one eyeball do a double back fist that every gym across the world was going to be practicing for the next 2 weeks, dude. That was insane, man.
They
Oh
get
man,
after it, dude. They get
dude,
after it.
did
What
you hear
were we
about
just talking about?
Khabib?
What happened, Khabib?
You hear what happened to Khabib yesterday?
No, what?
He got kicked off a flight. Like he was he was sitting in the what is it, the emergency exit row, right? And so you know how you have to give like a verbal response of like, yes, I'm willing and capable, I can help in the case of emergency, right? He was like, he said yes, right? Supposedly, as the story goes, and then the camera starts on, but the stewardess didn't like that he said yes in like an accent, so she like didn't believe that he could understand English well enough to like follow instructions in case there was an emergency. Which, lady, you're talking to like the baddest dude in the UFC, and she has no idea. Like legit, like with one of the greatest UFC fighters of all time, in case of emergency, is gonna be more than prepared. He's been in more high level situations than I think anyone else on the entire plane combined has been in, dude. But he's like in English, being like, "No, like I understand you. This is cool. I'm like, I can totally help out." And like he's got an accent, but he's making sense. And she's like, "Listen, like either you change your seat or you get off the plane." And he's like,
Let's
"I
go,
guess I'm
USA!
getting off the plane,
USA!
dude."
No,
Yeah,
I'll check it.
dude. And then it was Frontier Airlines. Like, of course,
Ah,
that kicked him off. Yeah, but
yeah,
I don't
that's
know,
fucked
man.
up.
Yeah,
Uh,
that lady made an
Oh, but
oopsie as
wait,
far as it goes.
back to Disney though. We were talking about Disney.
Yeah, sorry. Yeah.
Yo, you know about Operation Paperclip? I'm gonna get in the conspiracy side right here. I'm a big conspiracy theorist,
Dude,
and
paperclip
YouTube doesn't
isn't
like
even
that. YouTube
a
is not a fan
conspiracy
of
theory,
that.
man. Yeah,
If you talk
yeah.
about anything, I mean, it says right in the like do's and don'ts of YouTube. It says do not talk about 9/11. It says right in there, like if you talk about 9/11, this video is getting thrown out. We're
Yeah,
burying
you
that
get
shit.
out of here.
But Operation Paperclip, when after World War II, when the Nazis
Yeah,
got defeated,
yep.
the United States and Russia, we split up all the Nazi scientists.
Yeah.
And this isn't even conspiracy really. This is like 100% true.
Oh, this
It's a
happened.
it's a declassified document. It's called Operation Paperclip, and we took 1,300 Nazis into the U.S. Right? We gave them false identities and we let them
Yeah,
live among us. They were rocket
yeah.
scientists. They worked at NASA, right? So the head of NASA, right, the guy who did all the moon landing missions, his name was Werner von Braun, right? In Nazi Germany, Werner von Braun hung the 5 slowest Jews in his
Oh
factory
yeah,
every morning at the
yeah,
start of the day.
yeah.
And this
Dude,
is a
I
dude
heard
that
about his factory, dude. I heard how nasty it was, dude.
we
Like,
took him in.
yeah, he was Disney's homeboy, right?
That's what I was getting at. Him
Yeah,
and Walt Disney were boys,
they
yo.
were butt
Because
buddies, dude.
it's like, bro, this dude was friends with a Nazi, yo.
Yeah, he's like, you
Straight
know who
up.
I hate? And Werner von Braun's like, and I know who you hate, and I hate them too. And
He's
so,
like,
like, we should be best friends because of it,
yeah,
dude.
so I'm like, you Disney adults are weird, yeah.
Dude, did you ever hear like the factory conditions, what they were for him as far as it goes? It was like, so because he
They
created the
said that
V2
he would
rocket.
be tried for crimes against humanity if he was
Yeah,
still alive.
yeah. So he invented the V2 rocket, right? So that's like the first like two-stage rocket, so you can get into outer space. And obviously the Nazis were like, we're gonna strap a nuke to this, and that's how we're gonna nuke people. And so he was the head of the rocket program, and so you needed missile silos. So a missile silo is going to be a giant hole in the ground, right? Awesome. So you're going to need people to dig it. Well, all of a sudden we have an ostracized population of Jewish people that, this is their work camp, is they're digging these missile silos. So anyway, he was like, I have thousands and thousands of workers digging these silos. I don't want them to have tools. So they had either little hand tools, no machinery, or they just used their hands to go and dig the silos down from, which those things are like, I think they're 500 feet deep, every one of them, or 300 feet deep, as people had to go. And the working conditions were so bad that by the end, like the death toll of it was like comparable to Auschwitz. Like it was on the same level of like numbers as Auschwitz. Not saying as much, but like that's how many people died trying to build his rocket program. And then the US was like, you'd be a great candidate to help us get to the moon, dude. I love your
They're like,
work
come
ethic.
on over, buddy.
Yeah,
Come on
this is a
over.
risk taker, dude. He's a good leader as far as it goes. It's so dark, man. Everything is so dark.
One of the funniest things about Operation Paperclip is when they took all those Nazis in, they were like, yo, we're going to give you fake identities and anything. But if you get caught, like, we're not going to fucking have your back. Like, we're going to ship you right back. And, like, they're going to put you, you're going to be on trial pretty much. Like, we're not going to have your back if you get caught. There was a couple of guys who were like, hello, I am your new neighbor. My name is Chuck. Nice to meet you. And people were like, yo, this dude's a motherfucking Nazi.
Larry.
Yeah, there was a couple of guys who got caught like that where they were like, obviously this dude is a Nazi. Like, what are we talking about? And then the U.S. government was like, all right, yeah. Like, they sent them back to Germany. A couple of them.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
Oh, hello, I've brought this Bavarian bratwurst with me and some sauerkraut. I'm from Los Angeles. Go Dodgers.
yeah, I am American.
Yeah, exactly.
It's crazy. I don't think we ever went to the moon, though. I have no belief that we ever went to the moon. Like, that shit makes no sense to me.
Yeah.
You're telling me we went to the moon way back when? This was the 70s. I think it was 69. No, 69 is when JFK got shot. Let me look it up. Siri, when was the first time we went to the moon? 71, maybe?
Right?
First moon landing. Oh, Siri sucks, yo. With all the AI that's going on right now, you think that Siri would be better? Like, you got to be fucking
you think
shitting
you'd
me.
actually update it.
Yeah.
When did we go?
When did we go to the fucking moon?
When did we?
Okay, there were 6 crewed landings. Yeah, it was 69 and 72. So the 6 times that we went to the moon, it was between 1969 and 1972. You're telling me we could do that shit in 1969, but we're in 2025 and we can't fucking go to the moon. We haven't been back. How have we not been back? It's fucking 50 years later. Yeah. Explain that shit to me. You know they fucking called Nixon from the moon on a landline?
What? How does that work?
They took a phone call from the moon, from the motherfucking moon.
They threw a wire down.
White House in 1971. But I can't get fucking Wi-Fi on an airplane? You're telling me I can't get Wi-Fi on an airplane? And they called fucking Nixon from the moon on a landline. What the fuck are we talking about? What the fuck are we talking about?
That's so true. I never thought of that.
It makes no sense. Get the fuck out of here with that shit. And another crazy thing. Oh, I gotta look this dude's up. So you know Neil Armstrong, right? Neil Armstrong was the first guy to land on the moon.
Yeah.
So the guy's name mistakes me, but the guy before Neil Armstrong, who was supposed
Buzz
to be,
Aldrin?
No. Buzz Aldrin was on the first moon landing too.
Yeah.
There was a guy. Let me see. Let me look it up right quick. But there was a guy.
Shoot. Yeah.
Oh, his name was Gus Grissom. Gus Grissom.
Yeah.
I just googled it. So this guy was the guy before Neil Armstrong, and he was supposed to be the first guy to land on the moon. But he was a legit astronaut, right? So he knew about the spaceship and everything. He knew about the technologies. And he said that the space shuttle that they were supposed to take to go to the moon, it was years behind schedule. He said that there's no way this thing is going to the moon. It's a hunk of junk, right? So he
like
held
it never would have been finished in time from the date that they had, as far as it goes.
exactly, and his name is Gus Grissom, and so he held his own private press conference where he invited his own reporters in. Right, I forget
Yeah.
which news channels it was or whatever.
Is
And
this
he
gonna end
hangs.
with like when he died?
Give me a second here. Give me a
Okay,
second
go.
here. So he hangs a lemon from the space shuttle, right? A lemon.
Yeah, yeah.
And he says to the reporters pretty much, this thing is a lemon. It's a piece of shit. There's no way this thing's ever gonna fly. Right? So then his
Yeah.
wife writes a book or whatever. So apparently he goes to his wife the next day, the very next day, and he says, so at work today, there was a bunch of FBI guys who were checking out our equipment. Like, I don't know what's going on. It was just like a bunch of boys in blue checking out our equipment.
Yeah,
So
we
then
found
the
three
day,
3 terabytes of CP on the giant like computer in the background.
yeah.
Yeah,
But then the day after that, Gus Grissom is doing a training act. I think it was that thing that spins around. You know what I'm talking about? Where they're in the thing?
the big like the gyro thing. Yeah,
Whatever it
you
is.
test out G forces on the pilots.
Yeah, and the pod for that thing was oxygenated. And the oxygen levels inside the pod got turned up to 100%. So if there was a single spark,
Yeah,
it would cause a fire.
yeah,
So
a
2
little
days
whoopsie daisy.
so 2 days after Gus Grissom held a lemon from the original spacecraft, he was burnt to death in a training exercise.
I knew it. I knew it.
Yeah, they fucking killed his ass. So obviously, when Neil Armstrong and Buzz Aldrin went, they weren't gonna say shit, bro. They were like,
Yeah, they were like,
they were
we
like,
definitely went. Yeah, it was great. I
they're
loved it. The
like,
weather was awesome. You should
yeah,
visit
it was like,
sometime. Dude, what I want to know is it's like have you seen the different like footages whatever that one was, whatever Apollo mission that was, like more and more images come up of the shuttle that they had down there though. So I'm like who put that there if they never got to the moon? Cuz like India just released their first spaceship like out into space, which is cool and all, but they got like they probably got the best image of that like Apollo mission on the moon. So it's like, okay, like so someone, obviously we were there, right? But like
it makes no sense. None of it makes any sense.
like maybe like we weren't there when they said we went there. As
Bro,
far
we
as it
released
goes.
footage. We
Yeah, so
released
did we
footage
drop off a
of the
spaceship?
lunar whatever it is, the thing that lands on the moon, like from the spaceship, you know what I'm saying? The lunar module, right?
Yeah.
We released footage of them getting back onto it and then that thing taking off. Okay?
Yeah, how do we do that?
Who's filming that shit? How did we get
Yeah.
that video? How did we get that video if that shit took off and the motherfuckers who were on the moon were no longer on? You know what I mean? How did
Yeah,
we
no, I know
recover
I
that
know what you're
video
saying.
in the 70s
Yeah.
on a motherfucking VHS tape? Who the fuck went back down and got the goddamn VHS
I
tape?
know.
It makes no
I had to
sense.
go back and pick that up. Yeah.
Like, it makes no fucking sense. There's so much shit about it that just makes no sense. It just blows my mind. But then
Yeah.
you sound crazy if you talk about it. You know what I mean? People are like,
Yeah.
obviously we went to the moon. I seen
Yeah.
that shit.
Yeah.
And it's like,
I feel like 90% of the time of like, especially that era from the 60s to like the early 80s, like anything the CIA did or like anything that involves the CIA is like super shady as far as it goes. Like listening to like who killed like JFK, all the assassination attempts that were in there, all the weird circumstances, even like the Watergate scandal as far as it goes. It all was just like the CIA messing with stuff. Like it literally was like just this facade to be like, we're doing so good against the Russians. We got to the moon first. Nothing bad ever happens here. While like people are dying left and right as far as it goes. Like
dude, the
shoot,
Watergate scandal was fucked. They set my man Nixon up.
dude, right? Yes, that's the dude. That's the thing.
I'm not
is
even saying that
he
like,
didn't
Nixon was
know
a good
what was
guy or
going
whatever.
on, dude. Yeah.
But so the Watergate scandal was like so crazy. So the guy who broke the Watergate scandal was a guy on the name of Bob Woodward, who was a journalist. I forget which publication that he worked for before, right?
Like the Washington
It was
Time or DC or whatever. But he was like
was one of those newspapers.
he was the new guy in the office, right?
His name was Bob Woodward. He was a former Navy intelligence officer, right? He was
Yeah.
brand new at the office, right? Brand new. And he got the head story. He got the #1 head story
Yeah, the
on the
greatest story
Watergate
of
scandal.
all time. Yeah.
So you're telling me the first guy like the brand new first guy who's in the office gets the #1 lead story, and he breaks this miracle fucking Watergate scandal. Like they straight up set him up.
Yeah. Yeah. Did you
And there's
did
so
you
much
ever
shit the
hear
CIA fucked up.
did you ever hear the recording of like Nixon talking to the director of the CIA at that time?
Oh yeah, Nixon
Where
recorded
he's,
all his shit. Like he had
because
some
like
wild ones.
yeah, when he got caught, he was like panicking. I can't remember who the director of the CIA was at the time, but you can look up this recording on YouTube because they recorded the phone call that ended up happening. Because he was like, because Nixon had no idea really. He got caught up in stuff people were meddling, and he knew the fall was going to go on him. And so he called the director of the CIA, being like, "Yo, we need to keep this under wraps, right?" And you're thinking, well, if they were political rivals for so long, why would he ever listen to like Nixon, even if he is the director of the CIA? And so you hear Nixon go, "You need to help me because who shot John? We all know who shot John," is what Nixon says in reference to JFK, implying that
Yeah.
he knows that the CIA killed JFK. Dude,
Yeah,
it was
yeah, I've
wild.
heard it before. Nixon recorded everything he ever did in the Oval Office, right? And he's got
Yeah,
a couple of funny ones. So you know what the Bohemian Grove is?
yeah, yeah. Over in Washington, like where all the world
Yeah, so
leaders meet and like
the
blow
Bohemian
each
Grove
other.
is like for those of you who don't know, like Alex Jones, that's what like made him big. Was his first ever story that he broke was he snuck into the Bohemian Grove, and
Yeah,
it's like a retreat that all these rich people go on, and they have a huge like statue of an owl who's like a satanic demon. It's like a pagan demon named Moloch
yeah,
or
yeah,
whatever, and they like
yeah,
worship
something
it.
like that.
They have like a baby that's made out of sticks, and they like burn it and everything like that. But this has been going on like forever, since way back in the day. And Nixon went, and then on his Oval Office recordings, like someone was asking him about how it was, and
Yeah.
he said it was the goddamn most faggoty thing I ever seen in my life. That's what he said on his Oval
So bad.
Office recordings. Yeah. He said there was a bunch of gay shit going on there. Yeah, apparently. But he has some other funny ones um, about weed. Um,
Like
like
how
when they
they
were
like
We
trying
all
to make
took 3 for cigarettes.
yeah when they were trying to make marijuana illegal. He has an Oval Office recording that you can listen to where he's talking about how he's like, all the Jews smoke weed. I don't understand what the Jews love so much about this marijuana. Like
It,
he's
it
like
just
is like
doesn't make
harp.
any sense.
Yeah, he's like harping on the fact that like Jews love marijuana. It's hilarious.
Yeah.
He's like, we got to get rid of it.
Yeah.
He's like, we can't fucking give them this shit.
These
Like
Hebrews
you
are
could go
kind
and
of Hebrew up in here.
if you Google right now Nixon Jews marijuana, they'll bring up the Oval Office recordings of him talking about how the Jews love smoking weed.
Dang,
And
dude.
you're like,
Yeah.
this is the guy that made weed illegal, and he's
Yeah.
like openly anti-Semitic. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah. Dude, I knew it was gonna take less than 3 episodes for us to like start getting tinfoil hatty as far as it goes, dude. It was
Dude, I
inevitable.
can go
I
all
knew
day.
it.
I can
Yeah,
go all day. I'm balls deep in this shit. The CIA was doing crazy shit back in the day. Ronald Reagan was selling crack.
yeah, for the like Iran Contra affair, which
Yeah,
also okay, like I could go off on Reagan as far as it goes too, because like I mean,
that's
sure,
my
he's got a
favorite
lot
conspiracy theory. That's my favorite
the
one.
Iran Contra affair.
Is the whole weed selling. Like, there's so much shit that gets wrapped up into that. That is my favorite one.
Yeah, 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 yeah. I mean, because I mean, it's all pretty like it's true. Like it's been like declassified as far as it goes. That like
Yeah, it's one of
when
those
we talk about like
conspiracies
the
that's
crack
not even
epidemic,
like it's not
yeah,
even like questionable. Like, it's not like flat Earth where there could be like another side of the coin. Like, it's like all proven
yeah,
shit.
yeah,
Yeah,
because it's literally like Russia invaded Afghanistan, right? And so it's a Cold War, so we can't send troops over there. So we could pull what we're kind of doing right now in Ukraine. We can sell weapons, but we really don't want to make it look like we're involved at all. So they went to the cartel out of Nicaragua, right? And they started
yeah. The
yeah,
Condonistas.
yeah, exactly. And so they said, "Hey, we're gonna like ship you these weapons. Can you ship it to Afghanistan for us?" And they said, "Awesome, we'll do that as long as we can do this parlay where we can have kind of like a blind eye selling our narcotics to you guys so that we can make some real money off of this because it was really risky what we're doing in Afghanistan." And then the Reagan administration said, "Sure, as long as you target inner city communities." Right? And that's why all the
Oh,
campaigns
it
were
was the
like
Sandinistas. It was the Sandinistas, not the Condonistas.
Sandinistas. Yeah,
But pretty
that's
much.
it.
So then Russia gave the Nicaraguan rebels $10 million loan to become
what?
communist. It was kind of like the Cuban thing with Russia, right? So Russia was trying to get Nicaragua on their side. So they gave the rebels $10 million. So the
Wait, what?
same year that Russia gave the $10 million loan to Nicaragua, miraculously Nicaragua invented crack cocaine and started producing the most crack
Oh
cocaine
wow,
ever.
yeah, wild,
Just
yeah,
mysteriously, they made the most
yeah,
profitable drug ever, whatever, and started bringing it into
yeah.
the United States. And it's just like it goes so crazy. Like the whole Barry Seal. Barry Seal was like a pilot who was bringing the crack from Nicaragua to
That
the
was
United States.
and
Tom
Tom Cruise
Cruise played
playing in the
him.
movie. Yeah, yep.
Tom Cruise played him in a movie, right? And Barry Seal said that one of the main drop-off points was in Mena, Arkansas, right? So they would drop
Yeah.
the crack cocaine over Mena, Arkansas, and that brings us to the story of it's called the Two Boys on the Tracks. If you give it a Google,
Hey,
it's
what?
hilarious.
I've never heard of it.
So these two guys in Mena, Arkansas, they were hunting, right?
Yeah.
And they find one of these crack cocaine packages.
Nice.
Next day, they get ran over on the tracks by a train.
Oh,
And
how
then
convenient. What were they doing playing around those train tracks, those silly geese? That's wild.
Yeah, and then one of the what do they call like the medical practitioner of the state? I forget what it is. Not the DA, but Attorney General, AG. Yeah, the Attorney General.
or something like that. Yeah.
Yeah, so the Attorney General of Arkansas, right, who like doesn't even really practice medicine anymore. He takes it upon himself to autopsy the two boys who got ran over on the tracks because they asked for an autopsy. This guy does not do autopsies, but all of a sudden he's like, you know what? I'm gonna take
I want
this
to come
one.
out of
yo.
retirement.
I got this one. So his conclusion was that these guys they smoked too much reefer, and that
Classic.
they both fell asleep on the train tracks.
It could
They
happen
were
to anybody.
so high that they fell asleep on the train tracks, and then they got and then they got fucking ran over by the train. That's what they said way back in the day, and people were like, "Okay, yeah." They're like, "Yeah, I believe it." You know, they got too high.
Yeah.
They
That
took a nap on
literally
the train
yeah.
tracks like people do all the time. You know what I mean? They go,
Yeah,
"You know what? I'm
duh.
gonna take a nap on the train tracks."
Yeah, that makes total sense as far as it goes. Which is insane because probably around that same time they had the movie Reefer Madness, which is completely contradictory as far as it goes, you know. But
Yeah,
I mean,
and
I've
that Reefer Madness
yeah,
is so funny if you think about the times back in the day because like the entire movie was like black guys smoke reefer and then they fuck white ladies.
yeah, yeah.
And then
It's so
like people are
bad.
like, we
Yeah.
gotta get this shit out of here. They're fucking our ladies.
Ruining our community
That shit.
with their giant dongs.
Oh, this reefer's getting them so horny. You know what I mean? We gotta get 'em out.
They literally meshed together like marijuana and penis envy together into one video,
And then America was like,
they're- yeah, not in my town.
get out of here, get it out of here. But the way that Boys in the Tracks story links into everything, right? So
Okay.
Reagan was the president, right? During the Iran-Contra affairs. The head of the CIA at the time was George W. Bush Sr., right?
Okay, yeah, classic.
And the CIA with the Barry Seals story or whatever, Tom Cruise played him or whatever. CIA
Mhm.
was the guys they were actually the ones who like admitted to the Iran-Contra affairs with Oliver North and everything, who was like a Navy general who jumped on the grenade, pretty much saying I was the one who was trafficking the shit or whatever.
Finally. Yeah,
But
justice was served. Thank goodness.
so the CIA was trafficking the crack cocaine, right?
Yeah.
And George W. Bush Sr. was the head of the CIA at the time. And then the drop-off point was in Mena, Arkansas, right? And then
Yeah,
guess who was the
made up with Tom
governor?
Cruise.
Guess who was the governor of Arkansas at that time?
So like Jeb Bush or something like that, or was it? Wait, Bill Clinton.
It was Bill Clinton.
No, I knew it. Yeah.
So then guess who the next two presidents were after Ronald Reagan?
Oh, I don't know. Was it George
George
Bush
Sr.?
Sr. and Bill Clinton? Yeah.
And then Bill Clinton was right after
yeah.
that.
Yeah.
You're
Yeah.
telling me that just happened? That just
Yeah.
happened.
Yeah.
They all three of them were selling crack, and you're telling me just magically they both got elected after that. Like it just makes no sense.
The kookiest things that happen. Some people get all the luck as far as it
So
goes. Dude.
crazy. And then you know about Rick Ross or Ricky Ross?
I was like, I'd love to hear Rick Ross is in this. Yeah.
Yeah, so
Shout out to
there's a
Paris.
guy named Ricky Ross, right? Who Rick Ross, the rapper, stole his name from. So the Nicaraguan Connect, who was a CIA guy pretty much, but he was Nicaraguan. He was the guy who was bringing the crack cocaine into the United States. He was like the number one crack dealer in the U.S., right? I forget his name, but he was a Nicaraguan guy. And then the
Okay.
guy below him was a guy named Ricky Ross, who was from Los Angeles. I think he was from Compton, but he was from one of the bad neighborhoods in Los Angeles. And he
Yeah.
was like the guy, he had the number one plug to the CIA crack cocaine, right?
So he
And at
was
one
like
point,
he was the go-to guy, right?
he was a go-to guy. He couldn't read or write English. He was illiterate. He was illiterate. I'm telling you right now, he was illiterate. And at one point, they said he was making $30 million a day selling crack cocaine.
Oh my
So
gosh.
then the CIA had it all set up that they were gonna book the Nicaraguan guy ahead of Rick Ross, right?
Yeah.
But then he fled back to Nicaragua and they couldn't extradite him. So they end up booking Ricky Ross.
Yeah.
They book him on like a quadrillion years. They're like, all right, you're
Dang,
going away forever.
Yeah.
And then he,
Yeah. That's they need a fall guy. And that's the thing that I don't get, dude, is like if okay, the boss has skipped town. Why aren't you like skipping town? Like that's a huge red flag as far as it goes too. But like I hear all these stories of these people getting caught, right? And I'm like, why as soon as you figured out it was going south, why didn't you get the first ticket to like the Bahamas you could find in a country they don't extradite, dude? But Ricky Ross got, dude.
but yeah, so they get Ricky Ross. He goes to jail for a quadrillion years or whatever.
Yeah.
And then in jail, he teaches himself how to read and write. And he is able to study the law and prove in a court of law that he was wrongfully convicted. And he frees himself.
No way. And then
He frees himself. He gets out. He's out to this day.
I was
He's
like
been
waiting
on
for
Rogan.
him to get hit
he's-
by a car the next day or something like that.
No, he's been on Rogan multiple times, but yeah, he gets out of jail, and at this point, Rick Ross had stolen his name and invented a rap career around it.
Yeah.
And he tries to sue Rick Ross for stealing his name, but it was past the statute of limitations. So,
So
there was
like,
nothing he could do about it.
Ross had been
So
doing
could
it
you
for so long.
imagine that? While you're in jail, someone uses your same exact name and creates an entire career around it, and you can't get
Yeah.
a dollar off of that shit.
Dude, I'd be pissed as far as it goes, man.
But then he starts talking to Hollywood producers, right, about trying to sell his story, right?
Yeah.
And one
Did
of
they
the
make a movie?
one of the Hollywood producers, who he talked with extensively, stole the story and made that series Snowfall that came out a couple years ago.
Oh, I don't think I saw that. No, wait.
But
He just took the whole thing and he ran with it as far as it
he
goes?
jacked the whole story. He didn't pay Ricky Ross a cent, and he made an
Dang,
entire story.
dude.
It's like a
Dang,
super
dude.
popular show. Yeah, it's called
That
Snowfall.
sucks.
He didn't get a cent from that shit.
Dang,
It's
dude.
fucking crazy. They
They
fucking
stole
dogged
from him.
the guy. They
Dude,
dogged him, but yeah.
I love any CIA like crap as far as it goes or like stories just because it's like if you look at like all the famous people that were like killed in the 60s and 70s at the height of the Cold War, dude, none of it makes sense for it to be like these were all accidents or political rivals. Like JFK, his brother, Malcolm X, Martin Luther King, like all these people just getting off in like mysterious circumstances, right? And then it bleeds over, right? And next thing you know, you got like the Clintons where people are killing themselves with like 6 shots to the back of the head.
They're like
That's
hanging
hard to get.
themselves and then shooting themselves with a shotgun.
Exactly. Yeah, or your chef at Obama's house, and yeah, you
Bro,
shot
he
yourself.
drowned in like
chest
2 feet of water.
yeah.
And then there was literally Instagram videos of him learning how to swim. And he's like, I learned how to swim today. Like, and there's like videos of him doing laps in a pool. And you're like, okay, but then he drowned in 2 feet of water. Like, explain that shit. That shit don't add up, yo.
So
That
funny.
shit don't make any sense. But yeah, there was a guy who let Epstein into the White House. I forget which president it was, but he met with the president like multiple times. But the guy who let him into the White House like hung himself and shot himself with a shotgun.
Yeah.
It's like you hang yourself and then you shoot yourself with a shotgun.
Yeah.
But the guy
Trying
who
to get
blew
the
this,
style points is why, dude.
yeah, like he's just making sure. But so the guy who blew the lid on the whole Reagan selling crack thing, it was a guy named Gary Webb. And
Okay.
he made a documentary called The Dark Alliance where he exposed like all this shit. and they shit on this dude like fucking like
Really?
destroyed his career. They were like, this guy's lying. You know what I mean? Like they just maligned him in the media. Like
Yeah.
they were like, he's never gonna work again, pretty much. But then this dude ended up shooting himself twice in the head. He shot himself once
No
under the
way.
yeah, he shot himself once under the chin, and then after that, he shot himself in the temple. So you're telling me you shoot yourself once in the chin, and you're like, all right, you know what? We're going again. We're going. We're
I
gonna
didn't
reach.
do it.
You survived. You survived. You know what I mean? You're
Yeah.
like, you know what? All right, let's
Yeah.
retry. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? Like, fuck out
Oopsies.
here.
Yeah. Okay. One more time. I'll be fine.
Yeah,
Gosh,
like,
dude.
well, yeah, there's a bunch of shit like that. But yeah,
Yeah.
nowadays they get you with the autoerotic asphyxiation.
Oh,
There's a
like
lot of people.
he was a
lot of
freak
people.
and we caught him. It's like
That's like their number one go-to tactic now. Because their family doesn't want to do an autopsy or anything like that because it's embarrassing.
Oh, yeah, because of the circumstances that like he ended up getting caught in. They're like, oh, we'd rather just like kind of put this to rest as far as it goes.
But yeah, there's like a list of famous people, like a long list of famous people, all who were Churk joking. And you're
Dang, dude.
like, come on, they
David
do
Carradine style, dude, in the back of your closet in Cambodia, because
They
some
do-
hooker pulled the belt too tight on him, man.
That's what they say, and I'm like, dude, I am just not buying it. There can't be that many
Yeah.
people Churk joking, yo. I'm a fucking
Dude.
freak. I'm a freak of leak. And I ain't never once tried to fucking Churk joke with a
Yeah.
belt around a doorknob, yo. How freaky do you gotta be, bro? How freaky do you gotta be?
Unless you're doing it in Thailand, I'm not believing it as far as it goes, dude. That's
'Cause
it.
they
David
say-
Carradine's the only one that happened to, and I believe it. I guarantee the girl was like, "Are you sure that you really wanted to go this tight?" And he's like, "Yes." And then she was like, "You haven't moved in a while," and she's like, "Oh, I need to get out of here right now, dude."
Dude, they say a lot of people are Churk joking, and I am not buying it. There can't be that many people. They say that it's like similar to heroin, supposedly. That the feeling of like when they tie the belt,
Like
and then,
passing out, right?
right when they're about to pass out. Like apparently, if they crank it and they come, like apparently the feeling of like almost passing out and coming at the same time, supposedly like mimics heroin. That's what they
It's
say.
it.
Like,
It's the closest
But
anyone's
I'm
gonna
fucking
get to
buying
seeing
it, dude.
God.
there can't be that many people who are Churk joking. Fucking Robin Williams, the guy from Soundgarden, the guy from Linkin Park.
Oh yeah,
All
dude.
these dudes Churk joked, and it's like,
Yeah, dude.
I don't know, bro. I
I
don't know
don't
if I'm
know.
fucking
I don't
buying that
know.
shit.
Dude, the
How
guy from
horny do you gotta
Soundgarden was
be?
an elastic band that they found him like against, right? And it was why the guy from like Linkin Park too was super shady as well, dude. R.I.P. Chester.
Yeah,
You know.
all that shit. I'm like, I don't know if I'm buying it, just because I know that that's like their go-to technique now. Because it's like there's nothing to dispute. Like, how are you gonna
Yeah.
dispute it?
Yeah,
Like they
yeah,
go
yeah.
in, they choke you with the thing, and then they hang you on the doorknob, and then it's like this guy was cranking down and Churk joking.
Dude.
But
Do
I
you
ain't
ever
never
like
met one person who was choke jerking.
I've met a couple people that I'm like, I bet you do, but also I was like, nah, like, oh shoot. That just reminded me, dude. As far as it goes. Sorry. I mean, this is like the same scenario. Bro, so like at our church, okay.
You were choke jerking at the church.
I was. That's legit how I got I got revelations. I was like, whoa. Dude. Okay. So at our church there was like our old like building that we used to go to back when we lived at our different houses, like a couple that lived there. The wife would sell stuff on Facebook Marketplace, right? And all the time. And so one day she was selling like strap-ons and vibrators on like Facebook Marketplace, and they were all like lightly used in good condition as far as it goes, dude. And I was like, no way. So like I like legit like I was like, this isn't possible because they're like the most like super religious couple like you could ever imagine, like straight middle class, clean cut, all that jazz, look like Little House on the Prairie. But we moved,
He's getting
and now they're
piped down, yo. He's fucking throwing that thing back on it, yo.
that's
He's
what I'm
fucking,
saying. He's getting pegged every single night, dude.
he's
Oh
fucking
man,
backing his ass right up on that bitch,
He-
yo.
dude, and yeah, and he
Freak
was
hoe, freak hoes. Bounce
dude,
that
I
ass
know
to your
it.
knees, touch your elbows, and he's fucking backing up on the fucking dildo, yo. That's crazy.
And we're not here at Going for Broke. We're not here to kink shame anybody. I just want to get serious for a second. We do really We appreciate everything that everyone goes into, and we understand communication is good for your partner. But this was an enormous dildo strap on that they were selling in Facebook Marketplace.
Oh.
It was like a 2 foot black one that they were
Uh-uh.
doing. Yeah, and lightly used, which means it was used. Like it's not like, I mean, sure you tried it out once, but also how do you get to have the conversation with your sweetheart where you're like, hey, not only do I want to like try this out, but I want to try like the Black Rhino 9000 out for our first time as well, you know? So it was gnarly. But anyway,
Ladies be trying to get in your beehole, yo.
dude, I know, dude.
Ladies always want to put a finger in your butthole, yo. You gotta fight them off, yo. They're always trying to get down there. They're always trying to get in your beehole. You're like, get out of here, yo. What the
Yeah,
fuck? They
dude.
always try though. They always like. I think they're just trying to see if you're a little gay, a little fruity. You got a little sugar in your tank or something.
Yeah. I'm
You
trying
know
to
what I
figure out the
mean?
man that I really married as
Get
far as it
out
goes.
here. Get out of here, yo. You spray them like a cat with a squirt bottle when they try to fucking put a finger in your beehole.
Yeah, and next thing you know, they're
I
at
got it.
Salad Works with their girlfriends. Like, I don't think he's the one. I'm like,
But
really?
dude,
Why is that?
yeah, because he wouldn't let me put a finger in his butthole, yo.
Yeah, exactly. Because he took the he took the octopus tentacle from baddragon.com all the way down to the base. Right? How am I gonna trust that dude to go when there's a home invader? Okay.
Dude, I'm telling you, they're trying to set you up by trying to get in your beehole, boys. If you're listening to this podcast, don't let her in your beehole, yo. It's a trap. She will lose all respect for you. If she's hitting it from the back, she will lose all respect from you. You cannot be throwing it back, man.
The best advice. This is an official announcement as far as it goes. But don't ever let her. She's gonna try pushing the button, right? She might even try like, tongue punching down there. You can't let her go anywhere near it, dude. As soon as that happens, it's done. The relationship is over. She's never gonna look you in the eyes again. You're not allowed to talk to her dad. It's
Now
a
she has the
trap,
pan.
dude.
Now she has the pans if you fucking do that. And with that said, if I ever die choke jerking, the CIA got my ass, yo. I am not into choke jerking. I never choke jerk in my life. I never will choke jerk in my life. The CIA got my ass. I was getting a little too close to something. I got a little too close and they fucking took my ass out, yo. It was not me.
I'm not gonna unalive myself, okay, as far as it goes. But
Definitely not choke jerking. I would definitely not choke jerk. I thought about it 100 times. I seen one time this dude in New York. He tied a chain around his neck, and then he tied the other end around a telephone pole, and he hopped in his car, and he drove his car as fast as he could, 100 miles an hour or whatever. And then by the time that the chain got tight, just popped his whole head off. I was like, yo, that's the sickest way to commit suicide, yo. That guy is a badass, yo.
Yeah.
So if I ever kill myself, it's gonna be something like that. It is not gonna be choke jerking. I'm telling you right now, if I die choke jerking, I want someone at my funeral to say, he did not kill himself choke jerking. He is not into choke jerking. He likes to jerk off without choking himself.
Exactly. But also
Defend
on
my honor.
hindsight,
Defend my honor.
on hindsight, I hope this podcast gets big enough that maybe one of us is found like in a closet hanging from a belt choke jerking. Like obviously, like we don't want to go out that way, but if we do ever uncover any CIA secrets and that happens, I'd say this podcast was a success all in all, you know?
Dude, that is not how I'm going out. I refuse to choke jerk today.
I don't. Can you imagine? Like, it's like first of all, imagine me. So I'm like a 300-pound behemoth out there, and then you have to get me down, right?
You're done.
So Johnson's just hanging on your cheek as you're trying to like get me down from the belt. That is a bad scenario for everybody, dude.
No one wants to see that. No one wants to see that.
Dang.
But yeah,
But,
me and on my other podcast, we went on Amazon because like they say that Amazon whoops Walmart's ass because for a while, Walmart refused to sell sex toys.
Oh.
Now Walmart sells sex toys, but for years and years, Walmart refused to sell sex toys, and apparently they were saying that the reason Amazon was actually whooping Walmart's ass is because
of
Amazon was selling sex toys out of the fucking ass. Like there were so many fucking sex toys.
Like,
So
because
then-
there's no reason you would ever go to like a sex shop anymore if you can just go and like order it
Yeah.
online at Amazon. Yeah.
And sex is like 90% of the internet, they say. Like they say like most of the time that people log on Google is because they want to watch porn. It's like the majority of the time. So like that shit sells.
Yeah, yeah,
But
yeah.
on my old podcast, we looked up all the crazy sex shit they have on Amazon, right?
Yeah,
And
some
they
real highbrow conversations.
yeah, exactly. They sell a dildo on Amazon that has a lady standing next to it for size. And the dildo is bigger than her standing up, yo. It's a fucking 8 foot tall dildo. I'm like, that doesn't even make any sense. Yo.
Yeah, yeah,
Explain that shit.
yeah, yeah. Yeah, yeah.
Explain that. How is that even possible? Yo, you can buy a
Yeah, but there's
55.
some freak out there, dude. And she's making a lot of money because she bought that. That thing's already paid for itself. You already
That
like
is like
I
an art
guarantee it.
sculpture. That is more of like decoration for the house. If you have an 8 foot
Yeah,
dildo, like that's not even for
yeah.
use. That's like a display object or whatever.
Yeah. Hanging over your fireplace like a trophy bass. Right? Or
Yeah,
like an old rifle. And it's like, oh, I remember when I conquered that for the first time.
well, you know the Diddy thing, how they found 1,000 bottles of lube.
Yeah, which is amateur numbers, but yeah, I remember
But you could buy 55-gallon drums of lube on Amazon, yeah.
that.
Straight up 55-gallon drum of the whole thing is lube. You could buy it on
Yeah,
Amazon.
yeah,
Like,
yeah, yeah.
who needs that much lube? It does like
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
that's gonna be 1,000 bottles right there, Diddy. Like, what were you not looking on Amazon? Like, you didn't
Yeah,
even
yeah,
search
yeah.
that shit. You didn't really
Yeah.
look.
Did I ever tell you
We
about
found a
the first sponsor that I had on No Dogs in the Race was like it was a lube company. It was for like gay lube, like anal lube essentially was like what they like
let's
advertised it
go,
for.
Drake Bell.
I know, dude, right? So I thought Drake Bell. Dude, I thought it'd be really funny like to make a video with it and so they're like, "All right, yeah, no problem. We're going to send you over like just like, like this gigantic gallon tub of lube." Right? And like, thanks for making a video. So that was the agreement. Like, one video for a lube, and like, we'll send you a gallon. And that sat for like 6 months. I didn't know what to do with it. I was just sitting there staring at it, being like, I can't even think of like what like a punchline to make with this giant like gallon of anal only lube that I have sitting on like in my like bedroom closet as far as it goes. So I never did it, but that was our first sponsor on this page was an official lube company, dude. So
Let's
shout out
go,
to them,
dude.
dude. Yeah.
That's how Rogan started, yeah.
Selling lube?
No, Rogan's first sponsor ever back in the day was the Fleshlight.
No way, really?
Yeah, so do you know On It, his
You're
supplement
selling
company?
Riley Reed's officials?
Yeah, but you know what On It is? That's Rogan's supplement company.
No, what's that?
That's like his supplements, like the all of his supplements. I forget what Rogan supplements are.
Do they like sell it at Walmart? I've probably seen it.
What the fuck is his supplements called? Mom fucking takes it.
Really?
It's like I don't know. I don't know what the fuck it is. But the dude who owned the Fleshlight, Aubrey Marcus or whatever,
Okay.
he was
Wait,
Rogan's first
he's living large.
he was Rogan's first sponsor on the podcast. And then he sold the Fleshlight company. And then
Okay.
Rogan and this dude combined their money together and they invented On It, the supplement company that
Oh, that's
Rogan.
kinda
Oh,
tight,
AG1,
actually.
Athletic Greens, won.
Oh, no way, really? That one?
Yeah, so the guy
Oh.
who Rogan made that with, his partner with that, is the guy who owned the Fleshlight back in the day and was Rogan's very first
No, that's
sponsor.
gnarly, dude. Yeah. Dang,
Yeah,
dude.
yeah. Back in the day, he would give people Fleshlights for coming on his podcast. It's so funny to think how far Rogan's come. He came from literally giving guests a Fleshlight as like a
Yeah,
gift.
that's like a
You know what I
yeah.
mean?
Yeah,
And now
yeah,
he's like interviewing presidents and shit.
yeah. Yeah.
It's
Now
fucking
he's like, Donald Trump, tell me about the upcoming election. What are you looking forward to for this? Yeah. How is it gonna be different
dude.
this time?
He's
Dang,
came so
dude.
far. I remember back in the day, like I've been listening to Rogan since the start. He would have like a NASA scientist on, and he would debate the moon landing,
Yeah, yeah,
and he
yeah.
and he would just scream the entire time in this dude's face, like literally screaming at him, like "You fucking liar! There's no fucking way we do it!" You know what I mean? Like thinking back, like to how much he's changed now, it's crazy, dude. Like he's
Yeah.
so chill and like serious
Yeah,
now.
yeah, yeah. Yeah.
A couple, like I think it was last year. Like this is serious Rogan after he's made the change. He knows that his podcast is like publicly important, whatever. Back in the day, he would scream at people, like he would go crazy.
Yeah,
But
you
there was
didn't
a
care,
dude.
dude. Yeah.
There was a dude on his podcast who was like a scientist. I listen to all the episodes because I paint houses. I got my painting clothes on right now. I paint houses, so I'm alone all day, 8 hours a day. Like I have an employee, our little brother Josh.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
we're doing separate shit. He's listening to his podcast. I'm listening to my podcast. We're doing our own thing. So I have to listen to 8 hours of podcast a day at least. And I'm usually working 10-hour days. So that's, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
So
plus it's like the car ride home on top of it too. You're probably listening to stuff as
in the
well.
car right there, exactly.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
if Rogan even has a boring like scientist on, I'm still listening to that shit. But like a year ago, he had a scientist on who said that he thought that Epstein killed himself. He said that he genuinely believed that Epstein did commit suicide and he wasn't murdered. And I
That's
seen
so
Rogan.
cool, yeah.
I seen Rogan like push the old Rogan back down inside himself. He started like ticking. He was like, the guy
Yeah,
was
he's
talking
fighting the
about how,
demon, dude. Yeah.
yeah, the guy was talking about how he thought Epstein killed himself, and Rogan was like, he was like, oh, like I seen him like fight it off, like, but
Yeah.
he was like, oh, okay, yeah, you
Yeah,
know what I
yeah,
mean?
yeah, yeah.
I seen him
Like
push
that
that
video of
back
Mike
down deep
Tyson.
inside. I
There's that
wanted to
video
do
of Mike
like,
Tyson where he's like, "You should leave," right? Because you're waking up the old demons in me. You ever see
yeah,
that interview?
exactly,
Yeah, yeah, that's him. He's like, "You've got to run." He's like, "It's not safe."
yeah, exactly. I seen Rogan like fight it down, like fucking the Key and Peele sketch with Obama, and then like the ghetto Obama, like.
Yeah, yeah.
Rogan's inner self was like, "You gotta be fucking kidding me!" But yeah, he
Exactly.
fought it off. It's so crazy how much he's changed over the years. Back in the day, that shit was wild.
Yeah. Man, good for him as far as as far as it goes. We're at an hour, dude. As far as like
We're in an hour
I'm-
already.
we're at an hour already, dude. That flew by.
Let's go. Let's
Yeah,
go.
dude.
Yeah. We gotta do an outro. Yeah.
Yo, what's our man? What's
Big
the
dicks in
outro
your
there?
ass. Welcome to Go Over, bro. Oh wait, no, we gotta we gotta fucking close it out.
Yeah, don't get caught with the autoerotic asphyxiation, everyone. Thank you for this
Everyone,
week.
don't choke jerk. Yeah,
Don't
it's
choke
not the
jerk,
move.
dude. It's not. It's not. It's not. Especially if you work for the CIA. Don't choke jerk. Your chances
take your
go
ass
up
out.
way higher, dude, of not making out of it. Yeah, dude. I'm gonna drop these now. I'm gonna try to drop the ones with you and me pretty regularly, like every Friday. Right. So everyone, tune in on Fridays. That's what I'm planning on dropping it. As far as it goes, and yeah, dude. I don't
Let's
have an
go.
outro. We don't have a sponsor yet, but yeah. Thanks. Episode 2 in the bag, dude.
Let's go. We'll see you fucking next week, yo. Thank you all for listening.